Hey, everybody. It's that time. It's the Blame Girl podcast with
Dom Nezzy.
There you go. Finally, we get it right. What's up, Dom?
Not much. It took me 4 weeks, but I remembered my only line. So
It took you 4 weeks, dude. What's up with that? Who's to blame?
Pot.
So, how was your week?
It was good. Father's Day was yesterday. I had a fantastic day. I went to the beach.
I know, that's your job. You seem to be most proud of. You're like a proud papa.
It's the only one I'm good at. So
I heard different, but okay. And you're not mansplaining how to raise children. So
no, I would never do something.
I'm just kidding. Dom is a really good dad. So you had a good week. My week was interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later. I had that show last week, and it was so fucking amazing to be back on the stage, guys. Oh, Dom, you're getting on tomorrow, right?
Supposed to be. I know there's a lot going on in Florida right now, so I think everything's kind of day to day at this point. But I might be on the show tomorrow. So
that's a great segue into our first blame, right? So everyone out there listening, coronavirus is spiking. Who's to blame? Who is to blame? Dom, you take the first. Who would you go? Why do you think it's spiking so much?
My theory is that you have to put out a fire at the source, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't just spray the flames up top. What the flames are now is all these spikes. If you want to put this fire out at the source, you got to figure out who's to blame for the damn coronavirus. And I put my blame on the chef that undercooked that bat. Everybody should know you can't undercook bat.
Yeah.
It's not like beef.
I mean, who doesn't know that, right?
And everybody now, Gio.
I was just starting a watch party. You can go ahead and start yours. So I like, not only is coronavirus spiking in Florida, guys, where we're at in Palm Beach County, it's pretty bad. My best friend in Spain was like, Gio, Palm Beach County is going to be, they're saying it's going to be the new epicenter. And this is why we decided in Palm Beach County that you don't have to wear a mask. You can go into places, and places they don't have to require you to wear a mask. And people are taking full advantage, even as the numbers surge up into 4,000 new cases a day. 4,000 new cases a day. People are still going out there with no mask. They still don't care. And I blame us, because you know why? We just want to go out and we want to have fun. Like, we want to be able to consume. We want to go to bars. We want to go to shops. We want to go to comedy clubs, for example. And COVID hit a little close to home this week, didn't it, Dom?
Well, yeah, that's why I was going to say, speak for yourself. You want to go have fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect Florida.
Why? What's up with the show tomorrow?
Well, we don't know. The host hosted a show last week that you were on.
Yes.
And believe it or not, I was there because I support all live comedy and mostly bars with liquor. So I had to get my drink on. Anything to get out of the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but one of the comedian's friends, somebody, I know a comedian that was at a mic the Saturday prior, wound up testing positive for COVID. And some of the comics that were with him may have been at the other mics throughout the week, possibly Tuesday, or I think there was another girl that had it on Tuesday at the place.
So that's right. You're right. I think
everything's kind of on hold. The host actually got a test, and he's waiting on the results. And
the host got the test results, and he is negative. So I know
he's not pregnant. That's fantastic, Jesse. Congratulations.
Doesn't need any more kids. But the show is going forward tomorrow. Yeah, last week we go, and I'm all worried because, of course, a comic came out last week saying that he tested positive for COVID. That's probably the first person I heard about having it in Palm Beach County or in Florida, for that matter, right? I knew somebody back in Texas that got it, but no one here. And like that, it hit close to home because it's someone that I can come in contact with or in indirect contact with, which happened at the show because some of the comics there were at the show with him before he tested positive. But we were exposed because that was my friend. I brought a friend, and
I was trying to be discreet.
Thank you for doing that. You're such a kind guy. But she came and
Gio's to blame.
the next morning she was sick. She felt sick. She had felt fine before that, and she ended up at the hospital, tested positive for COVID. So
I will say
tests, right?
COVID is it's real, it's scary, it's dangerous, and I'm not trying to diminish it at all. I'm just trying to make a comparison. That's kind of funny. I never thought in my lifetime that COVID would be the word that makes me feel relief after the beginning. When you called me at 6 a.m. and you said you might want to get tested, I was exposed to COVID. I was like, whoo, all right, that's okay. We'll see.
I feel like my poor friend who broke the news to me, you know, like that's a weird call to have to make to people, and people respond so differently. They're like, what? Like they get upset and then they're like, okay, well, so I've been quarantining, and if I do go out, I got me an N95 or M95 mask to keep.
Do you though? If you don't even know, why don't you read it?
Read what?
You have the mask?
Yeah, I have a friend that's a healthcare professional, and she got me.
Do you have it with you?
It's in my car.
Can we see it, Gio? Can you show us the mask?
I'd have to go get it, and it's. Can you entertain everyone on your own until?
What good is having a gun in the house if you can't get to it, Gio?
All right, so I think the surge in Palm Beach County. I blame us. If you leave stuff open, we're gonna go. I was like scared at the beginning, but I got lax and I went to that show, and I don't know if I'm going to be going out much after my quarantine is over. I just don't know. It doesn't seem smart anymore. I feel like, come on, wake up.
For how long do you plan on not going out? Until the numbers go down, or just like till the end of the year?
I don't even know, Dom. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's right. Fat Chops thoroughly scared me. Yeah,
but what about COVID?
All right. So with that,
just kidding, Fat Chops. We love you.
We do love you, Fat Chops. So we're gonna move on to our next blame. Hey, everybody in the chat, say hi. We see you. Hey, David, Sadman, Sharon, Steven. You haven't been around in a while, Steven. And hey, Joanna.
Oh, Joanna's out there. Hey, Joanna, you sound funny.
So with that said, I realized something, Dom. 2020 is is Black History Year. Oh. Y'all, it's Black History Year. Who's to blame? What happened? All of a sudden, we're learning about Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. I think you're missing a word in there. It's June 19th.
Oh, well, it was always called Juneteenth.
Oh, the holiday. Yes, Juneteenth just passed.
Yes.
And we all celebrated.
Be honest. Did you just find out about Juneteenth? Did President Trump introduce this notion to you?
Well, he made it famous, I think, to everyone, Gio.
Yeah. So would you blame him for Black History Year?
I don't think he deserves that much credit as being to blame for the entire Black History Year. Yeah. No, that's giving him way too much credit. I think Black people are responsible for Black History Year, and
it's
unfortunately,
not just Black
the police.
People, though. I think white people are learning a lot of Black history too, and they have to be receptive to it. And I think as much as, hey Maria, I see you in my chat room, Joanna. But as much as
doing shout outs randomly in the middle of our.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi, Mom. I love you.
Got to keep our fans. Oh yes, hi, Dad. If you're listening tonight, I know you said you.
I was kidding.
He loved Dom. Guys, this is just a little break. My dad, I talked to him for Father's Day, of course, and he loved Dom's mansplaining. He asked me if I knew how to mow a lawn, and I was like, "Were you listening to this fool?" Of course, I can't listen to him and know.
Well, now you know how to mow a lawn. I should have written. I wish I had a mansplain for today, guys. We got derailed. Our guest canceled. We got a new guest that's going to be coming in, an even better guest. But I do not have a mansplain today, so I'll just be mansplaining throughout the show, Gio. I hope you appreciate it.
That's why you won't stop. Okay. But anyway, so back to our blame. People are not only learning about Juneteenth, they learned about Juneteenth. Why? Because President Trump decided he wanted to have one of his Klan rallies. No shade.
Wow.
He wanted to have one of his Klan rallies in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where Black Wall Street was decimated. So we learned about Black Wall Street. Did you learn about Black Wall Street?
I did not, Gio. I did not learn about Black Wall Street.
We talked about it last week.
We did?
The race riots in Tulsa.
Gio, I don't know if you know this. I was really high.
Here it happened. Like, come on, Dom, stay with me. So we got the Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
We learned some history about Aunt Jemima. And you know what?
She had great syrup. But the thing is, I don't understand why everybody's flipping out about that. They're not getting rid of the product. They're just getting rid of the name and the face. Like if you loved those pancakes growing up, you could still have those pancakes.
Yeah, you're still gonna have the same syrup. It's just gonna be in new, like more respectful packaging. But people are just like with the flag thing, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's the way that the America's going, and you're either gonna be on the right or wrong side of history. So why fight it?
When it comes to Black history and it being the year of Black history, it's like May 25th was just such a pivotal moment when Americans were stuck at home and they saw Mr. George Floyd murdered.
I can't believe it's almost been a month already.
Yeah, by a police officer, and everything changed. And it's like really interesting and endearing to see white people actually receptive to Black history and learning. But then it's just also, I gotta say, it's infuriating that I have to talk to some people. Someone tried to tell me General Robert E. Lee was an abolitionist.
Wow, I know what a few of those words meant, but just go ahead and tell the audience, what does that mean?
Okay, General Robert E. Lee, he was the leader of the Confederacy who fought to keep slaves, you know,
exactly,
for the South and leave the Union. But somehow that translates to him being an abolitionist. I was like, you're gaslighting me. Like, he was not an abolitionist, and he didn't even see Black folks as equal. I'm sorry, if you didn't see Black folks as equal, you get no love.
Gio, is this a troll that was saying this to you?
No, I was trolling somebody else's page.
Okay.
You know me. So anyway, yeah, I think just everything changed after George Floyd, and just like Americans have time today, we're all stuck at home. They're like reading on their phone on Wikipedia. And if you are not racist, you're probably reading it like, oh my God, I didn't know that. But if you're racist, you're reading it making apologies for whatever.
Well, you know what I would compare it closest to in most recent history would be the Me Too movement, how it was known, but it took like real, like empowered people coming forward, you know, to really make everybody that aware for things to be done, for something to change. And I feel like that's the closest feeling I have to something like this, because, you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, I'm as a white person, I support, but, you know, I don't go rogue, just do what I think is right. You know, I'm trying to listen and do whatever is the right way to do things. And that's kind of the same situation with the Me Too movement. As a man, I was just listening and
I think that is a good approach.
Right,
and that approach should be appreciated by a lot of people, because I mean, if you do speak up, you run the risk, like our own network Sharon on Chat Fight, people will attack her, but she's speaking out on behalf of Black rights. And white people need to do that. So I'm not going to knock her for that. I thank her for that. So before we welcome our guests, we have about 3 more minutes. I wanted to do one more blame. And
I can do a lot in 3 minutes.
A lot. Okay. No one asked you. Okay.
Quit
your mansplaining.
Go on.
Okay. So, SCOTUS, that's the Supreme Court of the United States, is actually protecting Americans again. Who's to blame? I don't know if you heard, but this week in the Supreme Court, it was pretty big because you had the DACA that was found procedurally deficient. And I'm not going to get into the legal talk of it all, but basically the judge told the Trump administration to go back and try again because they didn't do it procedurally right. And then with the Equal Protections Act within the workplace, the LGBTQ crowd found out that they cannot be fired for who they are. And that was great. And the president said, I think the Supreme Court hates me because he's a little bitch. So I mean, why do you think that the Supreme Court's acting like that? That made me think, like, are they really trying to send a message to the president, or do you think that they're just doing what's legally right?
Part of me thinks that, I mean, it has to be, they're just doing what's right. They're trying to do what's right, because a couple of those Supreme Court members wouldn't be trying to send messages to the president. Aren't they, like, there's more Republicans, aren't there, on the?
Yeah, but I heard this. I don't know. I haven't like fact checked it, but I heard that basically John Roberts, that's the I can't think of what they're called, but he's like the head Supreme Court justice, and he said that
He's a god.
Not going to be pushed around by Donald Trump. Which, you know what? If anybody could stand up to him, it is our Supreme Court, because they're going to have to. Donald Trump don't realize that they'll have to make decisions on laws concerning him at some point. So, before we go, I want to just pop in the chat room and look at some of our comments. It looks like.
Where are we going? You mean before we go to our guest?
Brad says, yes, before we go to our guest, Brad says, if you read the decision, you'll see that Gorsuch left the door open for discrimination based on religious exceptions. So that is kind of still an issue, because look at Chick-fil-A, they're always closed on Sunday. That guy's super religious.
That sucks too. I always wanted on Sunday.
I know.
Every Sunday.
I agree.
I'm always like,
I agree.
I go for Chick-fil-A.
Carlos O is in our chat room, and he says that they put Aunt Jemima on the bottle so that white people can get used to having black folks around.
That's one way to look at it. I mean,
that's an interesting comment. But with that said, I mean, the next guest that we have coming up, he is, no stranger to the law. Warren, are you on?
I believe so, Gio.
Oh, I see you on. I see you. So
maybe you can hear me too.
What's up, Warren? How's your week been? How was your Father's Day?
My Father's Day was wonderful. I had my daughter in town. She's still in town, so it was real nice. She just got her license, so
are you sure? Excited. Because I've heard your set, and I don't know how much you like your daughter.
I love my daughter. She knows how to get to me though. Just tonight, she said, "Hey, can me and my friends stay at the other place? We have a little condo downtown." And at first I said yes, and then I said, "You know what? Yeah, you can just stay there. I'll be sure to be there by 11." So she wasn't so happy about that. So I'm sure the boys who are going to be scattering around 10:45.
Is she being safe in the age of COVID?
Is going to the mall safe and then not wanting to wear a mask? I don't know.
No, shame.
Yeah.
Are we not supposed to do that? I don't know the rules anymore.
Shame.
As long as no one else is going, I guess she's safe.
So thank you for joining us last minute. Yeah, everybody who was expecting Jordan, he had something come up, and Warren, I was going to have him on next week, but he's joining us this week. So thank you for doing that on such short notice.
You got it, Chief.
Thank you, Warren.
And Chief Justice, that's what you were looking for earlier.
Chief Justice. I was gonna say you should run through the topics with Warren real quick, because he would be a lot smarter than my responses to your questions.
But that's what makes it fun, right? And
that's
not so serious.
I don't know. Dom's smarter than I thought. I gotta confess something. Earlier today, Dom, you posted something that said, about checking your statuses and making sure it's grammatically correct. And I was gonna go bust you on yours, and I went through 2 weeks worth, and they are grammatically perfect.
Dom got the time. He was talking about me.
That was Gio.
I will just be like, and go back to work.
Gio leaves vowels out of words. I'm like, how do you even look at that word and think it's correct? There's not even a vowel in it.
She thinks faster than she types.
So Dom, what you got for Warren? You got any?
Well, first off, I want to know, Warren, I know you're also a comedian. Do you have what have you been doing during the quarantine? Any virtual shows? Do you have any
shows? This is the first time I'm appearing in public since the first week of March. So I've seen some virtual shows, have not done any. Thought I was going to do a ton of writing for the last 3 months. Haven't really done any. So no, I have done very little comedy-wise.
That's funny because I remember you were like, when I was telling you I wasn't writing, you were like trying to be a motivator for me. You're like, I'll put you in a show. That way you have something to prepare for. And I was like,
I do as I say. Well, you know, I had shows canceled. I was supposed to do a bunch of shows. I had a show at the Improv that got canceled. I got a show at a country club that got canceled. So
yeah, I lost.
I'm the only one. I thought 2 shows in 3 months isn't much to brag about, but I got a day job too.
yeah.
How are you with how I see the last couple of guests we've had on had like in their credits that they've won some contest. Have you entered contests? Do you do like Florida's Funniest or any of those?
I've not won any contests. I think.
How do you feel about entering them? Like I know we had Jackie Sanchez on a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying,
yeah, I hear she's done well in contests. I don't seem to do well in contests.
But you've entered them?
I've entered a couple. I mean, I did.
But do you like the feeling of competing when you're doing comedy rather than just being free and doing your comedy?
No, I don't. But I figured having any of those credits is good if you're trying to book something or get in a place. So I'm going to keep doing them until at least I get 1 credit, or I make my own contest and then declare myself the winner. And then
that's
people
the way
go,
to do it,
who's
man.
South Florida Palm Beach's funniest comic? I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally won.
I'm the 3-year reigning champion at Swampgrass Willie's, undefeated.
I can't even win Swampgrass Willie's.
I won I've won a couple of contests. I won Swampgrass. I won Bull Bar.
You just trying to make your guests feel bad? Is that what you do, Gia?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. Were you in the Boca Winter Fest? That was a fun contest for me.
No, I didn't do that. Yeah, I would have won. They said if I would have entered, they were like, "Oh, you totally would have won." I talked to all the judges. So next year.
I did that one a couple of years back.
Right. Yeah, they said Dom was supposed to win too, and something was a 6%. Otherwise, you would have won.
Yeah, there was a miscount of the votes. They miscounted by about 68. But
right, and there's 4 judges, so it was really weird.
Yeah, didn't trust anybody nowadays.
But I felt like that crowd was the best. I definitely felt like that crowd was really good.
Where was that? That was at the Robot.
Mad Robot.
Mad Robot.
Mad Robot.
That's a nice place. I've always liked that place.
That's a good place. Are they going to reopen? Is there any word?
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything. I know Mike Cintron hosted the show. What was it last night? So
was it at Robot?
No, I'm talking about he hosts the radio show. I don't know if he's given any updates.
Okay. I've not heard anything.
That's actually on Saturdays that he hosts the show.
Oh.
Warren, how long have you been doing comedy?
Like seriously for 2 years, but I've like done it on and off over the years. But the last 2 years, I'm like, I'm going to take it serious, and so you see how many contests I've won in 2 years. So
what does taking it serious entail?
Going out at least a couple nights a week and open mics, getting yourself booked at shows, trying to put together shows. Yeah. Supposed to squeeze some writing in there as well.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, I even tried it 10 years ago. I took a class, did the one graduation show, and then I didn't even know about the world of open mics and how that even worked. So not until and that it's a whole world I knew nothing about.
I did Ramon's class, which I know you took classes at the Improv as well, right?
I took them with Trey Maddox.
Okay. So that was my world of comedy when I started. And then they're like, Ramon's like, you need to go hit those open mics. And I'm like, what? Man, that's just a whole nother world. And you've got to really network your way through it.
Right. No, I did the one. And then I ran into Randy Vega. He's like, no, you got to go every night. So somewhere in between, I think is taking it seriously.
I think to start off with, that's important. I don't think I would have been as developed. Not saying that I'm this great comedian. I'm fine.
But you win contests, Gio.
But I remember a time when I was
Swampgrass Willie's.
Why won't anyone book me? I was so sad that no one would book me for shows, But you got to work through that. You got to hit those mics every night and figure out how to be your best on stage. And it's not always what you think. It's not being just well rehearsed, because that could not work in your favor like it did for me for so long, So
Gio, you got those birds chirping in the background. Do we drink for that too? I know you want to drink every time we see one of your pets.
I know. I locked them inside.
Chirping is actually the dog biting the toy.
Oh, it's you. I thought it was Gio. We have a game we have to drink every time Gio has animals.
But Oreo's already barked once. You're always here, so you know Oreo's always like whoop whoop.
Yeah, usually I'm with Leo doing the show, but she's quarantined up because she's been exposing herself to
exposing. Yeah, I think our dogs got to play once or twice.
So. Yeah, we got to get together again after I get some negative test results.
I'm waiting on some results too, so I don't know. I didn't get the rush one. It's been a week. I called them this morning and they're like,
you were exposed.
I don't know if I was exposed. I was at the same show Dougie was at before he got there. And it just made me like, you know what? I should get tested. And I thought they'd tell me the same day. And now I'm like a nervous wreck 6 days later because I haven't gotten it.
Funny is Jesse, who hosted the mic we were at on Tuesday, I told him like the next day after I found out, and after I was tested, maybe the same day I was tested, and he went and got tested. He already got his results back. I'm still waiting on mine.
Well, Gio called everybody like a frat girl who calls everybody she slept with, and she finds out she called me at 6:45 in the morning.
I'm familiar with the routine.
Like, this is
so it was just like,
Dom.
Then T-Mobile calls her. You only have so many minutes, man.
She's like, you might want to
get. Don't be mad at me, but
hey, I got some bad news.
Nasty. So, Warren, what's your day job?
My day job, for now, it's a lawyer, a real estate lawyer.
Yeah.
Been doing it a long time. I'm hoping in the next year or so, I'm not to be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, I do.
Next year, wait a minute, I work for you. What do you
not enjoy it?
You want to take over? Gio, I will make you a good price in this practice.
I am not a lawyer.
You don't need to be. I do title work. You don't need to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
You hire a lawyer. That's what you need. You need your own lawyer.
You need someone to take over your title work. Teach me. I'm there.
Done.
That means I have to hire a paralegal to do my.
Yeah, you hire the paralegal. I'm down for that. I reached the point in my career where it's like I've got some success, in the lawyer side, not the comedy side. But I'd like to take entertainment in general, see where I can take it to.
Yeah.
With writing, comedy. I've had like little bit parts in movies and just enjoy that whole world.
Hey, wait a minute. What movies have you been in?
Look, you don't listen to any of my stand-up. Okay.
I'm trying to get you to tell our.
I do the little Ron Jeremy joke about. I mean, it was a privately funded movie, director's cut. You can find it on Netflix or Amazon Prime. It's free if you have.
Ron Jeremy, that sounds like that.
I have Amazon Prime. I'm gonna
look up director's cut. Like 27 minutes in, there's a cop in the background running around. That is me.
Wait,
did you say about 27 minutes in?
27 minutes, 28 seconds, Dom. Okay. Pause it. Look in the background.
You can see him looking over his shoulder.
That's right.
What other bits have you had?
You can go to my IMDb if you like. And
oh my God, we got an IMDb.
That'd be a good show. We could just read his IMDb page.
It was another privately funded movie. Justice Accomplished. You can see me walking in a door. I actually had
I was like, are you playing a lawyer?
Is the door open or is this a comedy?
I had some extra work last year up in Orlando for a Nat Geo show. I don't even know if it's come out yet. The Right Stuff. So I think you can see me driving some vehicles in the background.
Is that going to be on Disney Plus? It's Nat Geo, right?
Is it lucrative to do all this acting?
No, it was $50 to drive to Orlando all day. So just on electric alone, I spent that much.
You got paid? Man, I got my bit parts and I don't get nothing.
Well, you got to work on union jobs there, Dom.
I need my SAG card.
I think I get credit towards a SAG card. So.
Well, then I think we're about ready to play the blame game.
What?
Is Gonzo in the house or not? I saw him in the chat. You coming in for the blame game, Gonzo? Get in.
Come here, give me some help.
We're taking contestants.
So
Gonzo, come on down.
Blame game. Warren.
Yes.
Attorneys hate being attorneys.
That's true.
Who's to blame?
It's clients. It's always the client's fault. Everyone says, I'm here to sue about the principal. It's not about the money. And I'm like, pay me then. And they're like, okay, yeah, it's about the money. It's because lawyers, we deal with people at their worst times. I mean, even if you're not criminal law, you're dealing with divorces, bankruptcy, all these time, it's generally never a good thing that you're going to an attorney for. So the people just have a negative view. That's why I do real estate law now. Most of the time, people are happy.
People who win the lottery go to get lawyers, attorneys?
They don't come to me. The ones with tons of money, I don't get those clients. I get the ones that are like, Warren, I'll pay you Tuesday. I'll clean the windows.
That's the legal field. Like you look at lawyers and you think, oh, they're a lawyer, they're making money. Oh, they having to fucking beg for their money too. You know, like when you have your own business, you got to chase your clients down sometimes. And I mean, it's rough. It's a lot of work. And you don't even do litigation, right, Warren?
I don't, not much, very basic litigation, which sometimes you get the opportunity to help me out with.
Yes.
I do some occasionally. I hate it. I remember I dealt one, it was a death in the family and all the kids are fighting. Dad's $30 million. These 6 kids are fighting over. And when I say kids, they're all in their 50s and 60s. They're not kids. And the pettiest shit. So 50 and 60-year-olds yelling like, when we were a kid, Donnie stuck my head and gave me a swirly. I'm like, that is not relevant now. But I think that's worth $1 million. I mean, I don't know.
The statute of limitations. I know that.
You know what's crazy, Warren? Those are the worst cases to me, guys. Any family cases, and I don't mean husband, wife. I mean brother, sister.
Oh yeah. Everything comes up. I got a
It's-
Tesla out of it though, so we're gonna go like.
That's great.
I hated every minute of it. I had to like wake up and meditate, but I got the car out of it. So you're like.
The worst was I did a CLE, right? That's a continuing legal education credits. You have to do that if you're a Florida registered paralegal or an attorney. And so this CLE, y'all, was crazy. Dom looks so bored, but listen, I'm gonna.
No, this is the best day of my life.
I'm gonna entertain you right now. So I go to this CLE, and this guy is telling us about how he, it was a mediation, and that's where you go to try to negotiate and settle. Well, the brother came and killed the sister.
In the mediation?
Yeah. And
So
guess
who won?
what? The law firm got sued because they didn't keep everybody safe. Yep.
Well, damn, Gio, way to bring the show down.
Who's to blame?
And
Go
then
on. I'm kidding.
we have Dom paying attention now. So, Dom, why do you think, I mean, you're not in the legal field at all. You don't really know nothing about it. Why do you think lawyers kind of are miserable in their jobs?
Oh, I don't know. I was actually going to ask him if the reason he was hoping not to do it was because he didn't enjoy it anymore, or if you're fitness.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I've been doing it for a long time. Like, I don't even know how long I've been doing it. 15 years, something like that. No, like 20. I don't know how long. Like 20 years.
You don't enjoy it anymore, so you just don't.
I don't. Yeah, I get like I wake up in the morning.
Enjoy it?
I don't want to go there, and I look for an excuse to leave. You're probably more likely to find me at the Rapids than in the office.
Did you ever enjoy being a lawyer?
My first year or two, I was a prosecutor, and that's not even like really where my political leanings lie. But I worked with a group of like people, and it was like everyone's like 24, 25, just fresh out of law school, and it's like, oh, here you're the prosecutor now. Go, and it's all like bullshit crimes. It's like when you first start, it's like possession of cannabis, shoplifting. So you're like, all right, all shit that I've done and I'm still doing. So it's like, it was all about, this was downtown Fort Lauderdale, and the only thing we cared about every day was like, where are we going to lunch? That's all. We go to the strip. That's where we're going to go eat lunch on the strip in our suits and watch all the tourists go by.
It changes over time, buddy, doesn't it? Man, it used to be, I remember it being like that, being like, what we eat for lunch today? And like, you like get a little enjoyment out of your job. But at some point, I think a lot of attorneys realize that the justice system is pretty messed up and like it's corrupt, and like judges kind of don't know what they're doing sometimes. I hate to say that, but they don't follow the law. Like that's what's supposed to guide them. And then you have some judges that are just rule off of their heart, and that makes you jaded because you're like, you feel like there really is no justice is what I'm trying to say.
I agree. So yeah, the final straw, I had to leave, and I've been trying to figure out how to turn this into a joke, and I can't, but maybe Dom will help me later. It was this concept, and it was why I left. It's like magistrates in Florida. If you're arrested in Florida, you're entitled to be in front of a judge within 24 hours. So they have to have a prosecutor there. And for most of the minor crimes that I was doing, if you said you were guilty, then they let you off with time served and you got to leave jail. If you said you were innocent, you had to stay in jail. And in my head, that was like some Alice in Wonderland, like crazy shit. Say you're guilty, you leave jail. Say you're innocent, you stay. And I was like,
Sounds real fucked up.
that's fucked up. I can't do this. So
you can stay and defend your case, or you can leave.
Yeah. It's like, well, you could say you're guilty and you go home. Like that just seemed like, and that's also an economic issue because if you had money for bail, then you could leave too. But if you didn't have money,
I actually had like a microcosm of that actual experience one time. I was 19 years old and we got pulled over in Titusville, Florida.
Been there.
And
I don't want to go there.
No, you got to stay out there, Jim.
They may or may not have found a little bag of pot in the car.
A little bit.
Possibly. I don't know.
Let you off with warning, right? Let me guess.
So he put me in the car and then he put me in the cop car and I was so scared, And then he took me out of the car. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, he goes, are you going to be a man and admit guilt and go home tonight? Or are you going to tell me it's not yours and go to jail? And it was kind of that in the situation. I'm like, if I tell you I did it, I get to go home. But if I lie to you and say I didn't do it, or even if I just say I didn't do it, I go to jail.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. And from then on, I'm like, all right. And the only reason I went to law school was because like I was going to Florida State for undergrad, and I was like, and they had like a job fair, and I'm like, I don't want a fucking job. And my friend's like, I'm going to law school for 3 years. I'm like, 3 more years of school, sign me up. So that's how I became. And the reason I became a prosecutor is because the last semester of law school, you can take like these practical classes where you get to like try out a job, and the prosecutor class was at a good time. So I was like, I want to sleep in. I'm not taking the 8 a.m. class. I'm taking the noon class. So like, because I took that class and I got the job at that state attorney's office, I would have made a great public defender. Maybe I would have liked it.
All right.
Why not? You can still do it, right?
I still can. Or
sorry, Gio.
I could try this entertainment thing, But if you get busted, Dom, I'm there. I've met some friends at Gun Club Road, even though I don't do much criminal stuff.
That's
there, 2 a.m. Drag a suit out of the closet, like, I'm here to see Don Messi. Let me in. Oh, good to see you.
I just need a lawyer that can make sure I only serve the weekends.
Just the week. You only want to do the weekends. All right.
They do that. They did that.
You're gonna miss your shows. Why don't you just go during the week?
Nobody books me during the weekend.
That's right. You're a weekday comic.
So speaking of FSU, this was a blame I didn't get to earlier.
Oh shit.
Dom didn't do his job this week. He has nothing to mansplain. Hallelujah.
I have everything to mansplain.
How to be a father.
If you want me to mansplain how I could just mansplain anything, I can do that, sweetheart.
Well, just think
mansplained how to mansplain.
I want you to tell me who's to blame for FSU in their fucking alligator chant. How about that? Did y'all see that this week?
I didn't see it.
So FSU, they pulled that. There's like some alligator chant that they do at games.
I got to see the tickets. I don't know this chant. I think this is made up. Go on.
Oh, you just don't want.
Did you get Gio? Did you get a fake article?
You just don't want FSU to look back.
Is this on the Onion?
No, I stay in the know. I stay in the know. Okay, but FSU, they have this alligator chant song where they like alligator bait or whatever.
Oh, gator bait. No, that's a UF song, gator bait, isn't it? I don't know.
UF. You think it's University of Florida?
Who's the Gators?
Gators
is University of Florida. FSU is a Seminole.
FSU, we just impersonate.
Oh man, that is right there is a crime within itself, Gio. You can't.
I did go to UF.
I'm a Texan. I know.
Went there for law school.
I don't know Florida.
I went there and I married one for a spell.
You married an alligator? Florida man.
Okay. So Gator.
I couldn't tell.
The Florida University, the Gators, they have the alligator bait chant or whatever.
Yeah, they got
They got rid of it because there is all kind of more racist history of them using black babies as alligator bait. But I will say this, it's been done throughout the world. Yeah. Not that it's like better because they still use fucking babies as bait.
Who was using black babies as alligator bait?
Southerners. White Southerners.
Yeah, UF's real close to Georgia. I mean,
actually, not just Southerners, because one of the stories I read was in the North.
Is that?
But it's also been done in like India.
But what's the connection with is the chant like have something to do with the what they used to do to bait the gators? Oh, okay, see, I didn't know. Gator bait. You said that earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so that's in reference to That's
I did not know that, but I've never done that chant. So
it is Black History Month, guys.
Black History Year, Gio.
Ignoring the Native Americans. Okay.
The more you know. The more you know. So, what did you think about the Supreme Court's decision this week?
Which one?
Two decisions. Those two big decisions. Yeah, DACA and.
That's good that would actually go up against Trump. I mean, the court supposedly is sort of 5-4 conservative, and you'd think they would, but they didn't. They left them some outs. They said the way they went about it, they couldn't do it. They couldn't just be like, "There's no process." You thought you were getting this, opportunity. Because they basically got everyone to give all their information. People who sort of would have not trusted the government were like, "Okay, the previous president said, if you come forward, we're going to give you a path that you become a citizen." Because you have all these kids who came here when they were 2 years old who had no knowledge of anywhere but living in the United States. To say like, "Oh, you're going back to Mexico or Honduras," didn't make sense. So, unfortunately, they didn't. I didn't go through the whole decision, but my understanding is they said the way the Trump administration went about it is not proper, but there still is a way for them to get rid of DACA, which would be a really bad thing. So everyone go out and vote in a few months if they let us.
Yeah, if we're virtual voting.
We cancel voting this year.
I can't see any problems with that. I don't foresee any issues with virtual voting.
I don't. I'm sure we can figure it out.
Not virtual, but we should be able to do it by mail. I think across the nation.
And females. So I think females too. Sorry, that was terrible. I haven't done stand up in 3 months, man.
It's a good joke. It's just all about the timing.
So, what did you think about the equal?
What was the exact ruling for it? Was
I think what the ruling was.
They can never be fired ever for anything.
This is Title 7. This is the Title 7 issue.
Are you familiar with stare decisis?
I am.
Stand. So that's what encouraged their ruling in the LGBT equal the employment rights case. Was there's been too many cases ruling, I guess, in favor of the LGBTQ community. So they had to let the decisions. I'm sorry, I've only had one beer, I promise. The decision stand. So I think both rulings are great, but like DACA, like he can go back and try to do that again.
Try to attack this on a different avenue.
And then that same week, he was being kind of a jerk to them because he said that it was something to do with their healthcare rights. I can't remember. Last week. And then they came with this ruling.
I think spouses can't get, right, if you're in a gay marriage, your spouse can get state benefits depending on your state, but not federal benefits.
He's just trolling everything progressive, and I can't stand him. He's trolling everything progressive.
You should let people know how you feel about him because, you really seem to keep that.
Yeah, I didn't realize you didn't like him, Gio.
He's the worst.
First I'm hearing of this.
He's the worst. Do y'all like him?
No.
Well, I thought he was really good in Little Rascals and Home Alone 2. But other than that, no.
He was in Little Rascals?
Yeah, he was the rich kid's dad. He was in the same scene as Whoopi Goldberg.
That sounds like the movie I need to watch this week, huh?
My mom's here, Whoopi.
Remember the movie segments we talked about?
Yeah, but we needed to iron out the details on that. Warren, what are some good old classic movies you grew up on?
There was the sci-fi. There was like Star Wars, all those series. There was my favorite movie, which surprised some people, was The Princess Bride.
Oh, that's
it's not about princesses.
That's a good movie.
That is a very good movie.
The title of that movie put me off for years. I wasn't until I was about 15 or 16. I watched it and I loved it.
Right. The Goonies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we're all close in age, right?
How close?
I think
I'm the baby of the bunch, aren't I? Gio, you're what, 21 now?
I'm 40 straight up.
Yeah, 48. So
Yeah, and I'm 30. Damn it,
something.
36 over here.
Come on, we're older than you. Don't even be ashamed to say 36. Say
Right.
it.
I know,
Say
but
it
I
with
was. It's
say it
just.
with your chest, Dom.
It sucks that it doesn't go. You can never go back, man. Like once the 20s are over, that's it. Like it's. And then now,
You're
I'm
looking at the end of the
35.
30s soon.
I was talking to Warren earlier about driving as a teenager because his daughter just started driving. And man, I remember driving when I was a teenager. I was so bad. I was telling him my first wreck was when I was sneaking off to see my boyfriend. I told my mom and them, hi Dad, that that I was going to the movies, and I definitely went to see my boyfriend. And like before I got to my boyfriend's, I got in a wreck. I rear-ended this guy and just bashed my hi dad's car in. Happy Father's Day. And
Did you know this? Does your father know the story, or is this like a?
No, I know my mom. I told my mom this story. I don't know that I ever told this to my dad, but yeah, I bashed, and it was his car. I bashed his car in, and I got out, and the people were like, "Oh, it's okay," and I was like so thankful that they just let me go. And then I went to my boyfriend's anyway.
Oh wow! You you're like let's. The damage is done.
Came back home, and my dad, he was like, my mom and dad were like, "Are you stupid? Like, why didn't you get the insurance information? Like, how do you not know that?" So, but just being young, you're just like so worried about the wrong things. So yeah, 20s, teens, you're just a whole new space, a whole different space.
Man, it just reminds me of growing up how dumb we were. Like, it scares me for my kids. Sorry, Warren, but I'm on my way.
I know. At least now
my daughter's 13.
I can track the car.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to sweat right now.
Yeah. This is like day 4 of her driving, so I'm dying here.
Oh man, so this is new.
Yeah.
She's 16. She got a license like on her birthday.
She got her license like Wednesday. No, she got it like a week or 2 late, but.
Oh, okay, but yeah, so she just turned 16, and then she went right and got her license. I got my license on my 16th birthday.
Oh yeah, I did. I was like lined up to get it.
Then I drove. It was a Tuesday. I drove to high school late because I went and got my license.
You got your license that morning.
And then I crashed. I swear on 1,000%. I swear on my mother's life. I crashed into a sign that said, "Cars without ID will be towed," and I didn't have ID. I knocked the sign down, and then I backed up because I jumped the curb. I hit the gas instead of the brake, and I wound up parking in another. I moved to another spot in the parking lot. Good time.
Sorry, Principal Skinner.
Oh, it was funny. I had that dent on my '94 Saturn, the little front.
We got a lot of comments in the chat room. Maybe I'll just touch on some of those before we welcome in the next.
Yeah, let's interact. I can't see these. How come I can never see these comments, Gio?
You don't know how to fucking get your IT girl in the house, and you'll figure it out. Okay.
She's busy. She's making me a sandwich for after the
show.
But
I thought it was funny back when you were saying those are words and I know them. Jackie said that she felt the same way. Jackie Sanchez is in the house watching tonight. Y'all saw her on the first episode.
Hi, Jackie.
And then everyone is like freaking out. They're like, not FSU, not FSU, it's UF. I'm sorry, Floridians. Like, I'm a Texan. I know.
No, I mean, I knew UF was the Gators. I didn't know what you were I thought you were saying
I don't fucking know about y'all's colleges. I moved here when I was like 32. I don't know anything about y'all's colleges. I'm not planning on going into them.
Hashtag educate yourself.
And then my cousin's in the house, Tyra. She says that she says it still takes sex into account, and I feel like she is talking about the Supreme Court's decision. Do you know anything about that, Warren?
Wait, no, I was
still taking sex into account. I don't know. That wasn't it. I did
about the Supreme Court decision for the LGBT.
The only thing I heard about it, I don't know where I fall on this, because then it said they also can't discriminate against like trans athletes. And I don't know where you draw the line, but like having these like male runners, like when they show the girls running, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm very pro.
I have a lot to say on that, and it's rough because I can only speak from my cisgender perspective. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I feel like it's unfair as an athlete.
I think everybody would agree it's unfair.
I don't know where you draw the line.
Not anybody.
And most reasonable people may draw it there and say, yeah, come on, we can't do that. But then it's like, can it be a fireman? Like, I don't know. If they can do the job, I guess. We can,
I just think
can be culture
fighting for
a bad example.
To win a contest or something, competition. That's really not fair. To be a firefighter, yeah, absolutely.
No, right.
Do it.
I guess a job that requires like a certain skill set, that you have to just have that skill set. But right, athletic competition. But then is it like, I don't know I don't know if there's an opposite thing where women excel, where somebody with a female birth assignment would excel at or something. I don't know if female. I don't know.
I'm not.
All right. So I think we're about ready to welcome the next crew in. Where's Gonzo at? He didn't pop up the whole show.
Oh, I wanted to say hello to Gonzo.
Gonzo, not like him.
Gonzo, you're being summoned. We want to say hello, and I think you have a really cool guest that people are gonna want to stick around and see.
Who's his guest today?
We'll wait on him to come in. And
it's a surprise?
No. What starts at 9? Oh, is he not gonna pop in and?
Gotcha. His show's an hour postponed. I wonder why. I wonder what's going on, Gio. Have you heard anything?
Oh, it's not at 8 tonight. Okay.
Why is it at 9, Gio? Do you know?
No. Maybe the guest could.
We got to tune in and find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna. Oh man, I ended my watch.
You ended the party.
Wait, I wanted to ask Warren a couple of quick, fun questions that I've really been wondering all week long. Even though it's caught me in a lie, considering he just filled in today for Jordan.
Just FYI, the guest coming up is the world's smallest stripper, Sassy Cassie. So.
Okay. Hey, quick question for you. Warren, if you had to choose, who would you choose? Betty Rubble or Jane Jetson?
Betty. Betty's a Betty.
Right.
Yeah, Jane seems too stuck up. Stealing George's money. Betty would never steal Barney's money.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Jackie or Alex? I'm kidding. That's all I got. Those are the questions I wrote down.
Inappropriate. Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it, man. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Thanks a lot.
Good. Yes, thank you for joining us. Like I said, on such short notice. My dog is yelling at me. I don't know if y'all can. So we're gonna wrap up early just because we didn't, we had to kind of throw this together tonight because someone bailed.
Do you have any shows anybody want to promote? Any kind of anything? Gio, do you have a show? I have a show tomorrow, maybe, if the COVID didn't take over.
No, I don't have a show, but Dom does have a show at Average Joe's. And you know what? That place was a lot of fun. Oh my God, it was nice.
I'm excited.
I have a show that Gio and I are both on. Well, if it happens, it's July 24th. That's the next book show I have. The Glen Eagle Country Club. Gio Blame Girl's going to be the guest. The Artist Treese is headlining. I'll be
nice. I love artists.
I'm looking for a feature. Dom, maybe I'll reach out to you during the week.
You can't afford me.
Yeah, I can't.
Call me.
I'm sure Warren can afford you, but yes, okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens this week with everything, and let me know about your test results. I'll let you know about mine.
COVID test, people. COVID test.
Yes.
Yeah,
the other one, you know how it came back.
Don't answer.
You need a shot.
All right, guys. It was nice to have you, Warren.
Thanks, Warren.
Be here, guys. Thank you.
I'll see you next week. All right, bye, guys.
Signing off. I can't hit the button quick enough.
For Gonzo Radio, this is Super Time 6000 2015 for Gonzo Television Station. Coming to the greater Sandusky, Ohio area. This is Pirate Bill, and this is Frank Wilker saying, watch Transformers.